Welcome again to It's Getting Better All the Time Mental Health Outreach with your host. You can find out more about us by logging onto our website at igbattmho.org. And again, this is It's Getting Better All the Time Mental Health Outreach. And I wanted to kind of come live. We don't usually go live, but we're doing it today. As we move into November, I am aware that there are a lot of people who are listening to us. Many of you may be living with the symptoms of a mental illness, whether that's depression or anxiety. Others of you may be, I'm sorry, I'm looking at, okay. Others of you may be dealing with other negative life experiences, things of that nature. Basically, I know that it can be difficult. And as I'm doing is I'm actually trying to do a couple things. Okay, it's not gonna work. Okay, it can definitely be challenging and it can definitely be difficult. Okay, but we just want to kind of let you know that you got to keep moving forward. As we move into the holidays, the winter months, it will be important for us to review that just like seasons change, our life can change. Your life can change. You may have been dealing with depression, anxiety, grief for a long time. I always say it's one thing to say, to deal with a negative life situation for a week. It's another thing to have to deal with it for a month. There's another thing to have to deal with it for years and years or period of time. And some of you are in that condition. Some of you are in that situation where you've got a diagnosis from your doctor or that you have to live with. When we look at severe and persistent mental illnesses, for example, we're talking about illnesses that are so long lasting and are so intense that you do have to live with them a long period of time. You have to learn how to manage them. So it's not a thing where, you take medications and you'll be fine in a week or 2 weeks. When you're looking at severe and persistent mental illnesses, these are things that you have to manage. Well, when you're looking at any other chronic illness, whether it's hypertension, diabetes, heart condition, these are things or illnesses that have to be managed. Sometimes in our life, we may be dealing with negative situations. Again, things that don't go away. You may be dealing with a situation during this time of the year where your loved one is in prison, or your loved one is in jail, or your loved one, is overseas someplace, or you may be worried about finances or employment. There are a lot of different things that are going on right now. And you may be wondering, okay, how am I going to make it? You're going to make it second by second, minute by minute, day by day, month by month, year by year. You will make it. You just got to keep moving forward. It may not look pretty, it may, for you, it may be getting out of bed maybe at noon. Somebody else may be in bed the entire day. Somebody else may have to smile, and someone else may isolate. Whatever it is that you have to do to get through, know that you can get through it. Okay, you can get through it. Every day can bring about a new change. So you got to keep moving forward and continue to remain committed to the plan that God has for your life. And as we say here, everybody has a God-given purpose for being here. Whether you know it or not, realize it or not, believe in God or doesn't believe in God or don't believe in God because he believes in you, you do have a plan. There's a reason why you're here. And you have to move forward despite how you feel. I understand, yes, it may be hard to sleep, hard to concentrate. You may feel very anxious, very irritable. You're not sleeping well, having nightmares. A lot of things are going on with you. You're feeling depressed or anxious, as I said, but you got to keep moving forward. You owe it to yourself. If you are over, let's say, 18 years of age, okay, and you've been feeling depressed, anxious, sad, or things have not been going the way you think they should go, and this has been happening to you for the last 18 years, you owe it to yourself. You owe it to your destiny to see what the next 18 years is going to bring. Okay, you owe it to your destiny to say, okay, this day hasn't been the best, but you owe it to yourself to see what the next day is going to bring, or the next day after that, because things can change. But what does that mean? We talk about things change. We were talking earlier about thoughts, feelings, and behavior. It's really important as we move out of 2022 and we go into 2023, or even today, that you pay attention to what you're thinking. Okay, thoughts, feelings, and behaviors are connected. You see where I am. Thoughts, feelings, and behaviors are connected. So as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. If you begin to think, look at it this way. If you start feeling depressed, you start feeling anxious, you start feeling like things are not going to change, pay attention to what you're thinking. Okay, what are you thinking? What are the thoughts that are going into your mind? What are the thoughts that you're rehearsing over and over again in your mind? I always say, I'm sorry, nothing in here. If you were able to carry a tape recorder around with you and to record your thoughts, what type of thoughts will be recorded on your tape recorder? Will there be thoughts that saying, hey, you're going to make it, or will there be thoughts on negative thoughts? And a lot of people may say, I don't think negative thoughts. Well, yeah, you do. You know how you can tell? Pay attention to what you're saying to yourself when something goes wrong, when something just come out of the blue. Somebody hits your car, or somebody step on your foot, or you lose some money, or you get a ticket. Look how you respond. Pay attention to how you respond to those things that happen in your life that you're unable to plan for. Because when those things that happen in your life that you're unable to plan for, then you get a chance to see what you're really thinking, right? If you go in and somebody hits your car, or somebody says something negative to you, or you get an unexpected bill, what's the first thing come out of your mouth? Is it something like, oh man, why did this happen? These things always happen to me, right? So that lets you know what you're thinking. So pay attention to what you're thinking. You can tell what you're thinking by the things that are by how you respond to especially things that you have no control of. That first immediate reaction will tell you what you're actually thinking. Thoughts, feelings, and behaviors go together. So when we talk about hopelessness, right? We talk about moving forward. It's important that we pay attention to what we are thinking. Okay, you got to pay attention to what you're thinking, because it controls what you're feeling. Okay, it's going to control how you behave. All of those things definitely kind of go together. So when we talk about hopelessness, for example, the importance of how you get over hopelessness is, number one, pull out a pen, pencil, paper, and begin to write down what is driving your feelings of hopelessness. What is behind your feelings of your thoughts, your feelings, behavior, right? Begin to write it down. And as you begin to write it down, begin to ask to pray and ask the Lord, and begin to ask, okay, what can I do about this situation? Begin to come up with a plan. Because see, what happens is, what you don't want to be in a situation where your mind just wanders from one thing to the other. Whenever we're feeling, we get into this tunnel vision, we have this negative thoughts, feelings, behaviors. All we can see is the negative things that's happening in our lives, and it's hard to move forward. We just get into this negative tunnel vision type thing, right? What you want to do is get out of that. And how you get out of that, one way, is pulling out pen, paper, and begin to write. Begin to write down what are you feeling, why are you feeling it, what is the problem, what is the situation, and begin to come up with a plan. Begin to come up with an idea. It doesn't matter if you're not able to I need $1 million. Okay, write that down. Okay, I need $1 million. Okay, then your next question is, how are you going to get the $1 million? Okay, well, I don't know. Well, I don't know how I'm gonna get the $1 million. Okay, how much money can you get? You want to begin to challenge your thoughts. See, the problem is we let thoughts, these negative thoughts, linger too much, too long in our thoughts. We let negative thoughts linger too long, and they turn into negative feelings, and they begin to control our behavior. When we're talking about feeling hopeless, okay, we're usually feeling hopeless because it doesn't look like things are going to change. We're feeling hopeless because things in my life are the same. I'm not moving forward. I don't have a job. I don't have any money. Whatever the situation is, begin to plan. There is always a way out. There's always a plan. There's always a strategy. We just got to find it. Okay, the strategy, the plan is in you. But what is keeping you from realizing what that strategy and what that plan is? What's keeping me are the negative thoughts, feelings, behaviors that we say to ourselves, right? As soon as you think about something positive, then something negative comes in. Oh, well, I could probably do this. But no, that's not going to work out. How do you know it's not going to work out? You never tried it, okay? Again, moving forward, dealing with hopelessness, dealing with depression, you deal with it by moving forward with a pen and paper, begin to plan, begin to come up with a strategy, begin to challenge your negative thoughts. Do not let your negative thoughts control you. Because once they do, negative thoughts will turn into negative feelings, behaviors, everything will go together. Even if you have to move slowly, take a break and move one day at a time. Just keep moving. Don't let your feelings stop you permanently. Take a break if you must, but keep moving forward. Our negative thoughts, our negative feelings can cause us to start thinking things that are not true. Because of the bad things that have happened to us in our lives, and we begin to internalize those things, we begin to think that things will never change. And we begin to act like things will never change. We become very critical, very cynical. We become very negative in general. We become very lackadaisical. We become very defensive. We always think people are out to get us, that the world is so unsafe and unkind. All we see are the negative types of things that's going on. And make no mistake about it, there are negative things that are going on in our lives, that are going on around us, but there's more positive things going on in life than there are negative things. Okay? Thing is, you got to keep moving forward. Yes, you may need to take a break. You may need to cry. You may need to sleep longer than you should. A lot of things you may need to do, but take a break. You may need to take a break, but keep moving forward. No matter what it looks like, you do have a reason for being here. Past experiences, present challenges, and fear of an uncertain future can all work together to cause us to think that will not be able to succeed, or that circumstances in our life will not change. Feelings of hopelessness can cause us to act as if things will never get better. Okay? The problem, as I said before, feelings of hopelessness can trigger other negative thoughts and behaviors, to include thoughts of self-destruction, apathy, I don't care, rage, false beliefs about other people, about our self-worth, about our abilities. When we allow hopelessness to control our lives, we begin to view everything around us as being all bad and to feel as life is worthless. We begin to take on this attitude that we're just powerless. There's nothing that we can do. We start thinking that somebody else is controlling our life. We don't realize that how much power and how much control that we do have, how much control and power we do have over our lives and the changes that we can make. Okay, so the thing is, we do not want hopelessness just to stop there. You want to, again, put some faith to your action. If you're listening to me and you're faith-based and you say you're a Christian, remember, faith without works is dead. You got to put some works to your faith, right? Faith is not just, oh, well, whatever happened, whatever happened. That is not the case. That's laziness. That's a lazy kind of faith. That is a faith that's a dishonest faith. I'm sorry, a dishonest faith. Okay, because a dishonest faith is one where you put you do nothing. You just say, oh, nothing will ever change. You don't put in the effort. No, there's an effort that has to go into faith. Okay, there's a works that goes into faith. Okay, what is works? Works, it could be praying, it could be fasting, it could be writing, coming up with a list, it could be making a phone call, it could be taking a class, it could be, like I said, praying or fasting. It's actually doing something to go along with your faith. Okay, it's not just sitting back and waiting, for God to do everything and you do nothing. Okay, feelings of hopelessness will foster, will grow if you're not doing anything. Okay, if we're not doing anything, you may say, well, I just don't feel like it. I'm really depressed. And I get that sometimes that happens, because when you look at depression, a lot of times you don't feel like doing anything. Well, what you can do if you're to this point is seeing your doctor, right? There are medications out there that can help you feel better if you need to take the medications. Again, faith without works is dead. Don't say, I don't believe in taking medications. I'm going to pray and I'm just going to trust God and deal with my depression. Great. That's great. But don't say that and then don't do it. Because a lot of people will say to me, well, yeah, I'm just going to pray. I'm going to believe God and I'm going to be better, that happens. It works for some people. But then if you're going to do that, put some faith, put some works to your faith, right? Don't just say, oh, I'm just going to believe God and don't do anything. Again, you need to be moving forward. You have to do something. Okay. So what does that something look like? Something could be seeing a doctor. Something could be taking medications. Something could be talking to somebody, about your feelings. There's something could be getting up and taking a shower. There's something could be getting up and washing your face if you don't feel like taking a shower. There's something could be pulling out a pen and paper and writing your thoughts down. There's something could be is forcing yourself to come up with a plan. Okay, asking yourself the question, how can I change the situation that I'm in, and begin to write. It doesn't have to be realistic at first. Just begin to write what it is. Come up with a plan. And what you'll find as you begin to move forward in whatever it is that you need to do, right? First, again, it's going to look different for different people. Some people may need to move forward by getting a job, putting in a resume, seeing a doctor, taking your medications, exercising, eating better, calling your a loved one, taking a walk, taking a bath, taking a shower, or if you don't feel like doing that, or washing your face, eating, okay, writing, watching TV, distracting yourself, praying, fasting, going to church, whatever it is, whatever you need to do to get yourself to move forward, then you need to do that. That is your works. When we talk about faith, without works is being dead. Okay. Prayer, people talk about prayer. Prayer is not something you do when you have nothing else to do. Prayer is more for you than it is for God. Prayer is an opportunity for you, because what happens when you pray? When you're praying, you're talking about what is going on with you, right? You're talking about what is going on with you. You're expressing your feelings. And that's that's so important for you to do that. It's important for God to hear you, but it's also important for you to express yourself. So we got to move forward. What does it mean to move forward? Moving forward means that we will not be intimidated by our shortcomings or allow our weaknesses to cause us to give up on our dreams and goals. We all have shortcomings. We all have weaknesses. Your weaknesses may not be mine. Your weaknesses may be a traumatic childhood. My weakness may be physical abuse or sexual abuse. Yours may be not having a job, or having issues with finances, or having problems with your husband, or problems with your wife, or with your children. Okay, but we can't be intimidated by our shortcomings. Well, I don't speak well. I don't look the part. I'm not dressed. I don't have the right clothes to wear. I don't have the right education. I don't know the right people. I'm too short. I'm too tall. I'm too skinny. I'm too fat. Whatever it is, we can't let those things, those shortcomings, intimidate us to the point where we don't move forward in the plan that God has for our life. And the enemy comes to kill, steal, and destroy. He'll kill, steal, and destroy our thoughts, our mind, our feelings, our destinies, right? That's the whole idea. See, that's the whole strategy. That's the whole plan of the enemy. There's negative things that have happened to us that come up in our lives. There's a plan behind all of that. And that plan is to keep our mouths shut, to keep us from moving forward. Because if we don't move forward, if you don't move forward in the plan that God has for you, you're going to always be miserable. You're going to always feel hopeless. You're going to always feel depressed. You're going to always feel sad, because your feelings are telling you there's something more in you that's not coming out. Okay, so we got to move forward. Moving forward, again, means that we will not be intimidated by our shortcomings or allow our weaknesses to cause us to give up on our dreams and goals. Okay, we understand that setbacks, and I'm reading from a book that we have here that we put together. It's actually called Moving Forward. But anyway, I'm just reading from a book here. It says, while we understand that setbacks, disappointments, and feelings of hopelessness may occur, we will not let setbacks and feelings of hopelessness become a permanent response to a temporary situation. Shortcomings, weaknesses, we all have them. Setbacks, disappointments, they're going to come. Okay, if you live long enough, even 5-year-olds have to deal with disappointment, right? They thought they were going to get this particular Happy Meal. Mom said no. Right? They thought they were going to be able to get this particular toy. Dad said they can't have it. So we all have to deal with disappointments, setbacks. The thing is what do we do when setbacks and disappointments come? as I said earlier, what happens is whenever something happens that's unexpected, right? This is when you can really see the thoughts that you've really been meditating on. Because what we call those automatic thoughts, those thoughts that just come automatically. When it's real easy to put on a fake, to look a certain way, right? To pretend like you're so nice and you get along with people, or you're just so sweet, until out of the blue somebody make a mistake and kick you in your ankle, right? And then when they kick you in your ankle, what's the first thing that come out? Ugh. What's the first thing that come out? Okay. What's the first words? What's the first thing that you think? That's the real you. People like saying, "Oh, this situation brought me out of my character." No. Mm. That situation revealed your character. That's all it did. Okay. It didn't make you be something that you wasn't already, that you weren't already. Okay. So again, when you look at it, what does it mean to move forward? It means not to be intimidated by our shortcomings or allow weaknesses to cause us to give up on our dreams and goals. And we got to understand that setbacks, disappointments, and feelings of hopelessness may occur. What happens is when we're meditating on hopelessness, or when we're meditating or feeling depressed, when disappointments come, it becomes larger than what it is. Things become larger than what they are. Okay, a person says something and we take it out of context. Right, a person says something and we automatically start calling them names, or we automatically start thinking certain things. We automatically go on the defensive. Right. So again, it's important for us that we begin to take a look at and clean out that stuff that we have inside of us. Okay, that negative, those thoughts, those negative feelings, those rejection, that self-criticism. That we're carrying around on our shoulders or in our hearts these things that somebody said to us, what somebody did to us, the narcissist that we last met, my ex-wife, my ex-husband, my kid that don't call, my husband that's in jail, the person who stole my money. All of these things that we're carrying around that have happened to us that we have internalized. Because again, it's not just the things that have happened to us, it's how we view those things. Because 5 people could have had the same thing happen to them, and everyone can respond differently. This person is over here going around calling everybody narcissist names and has retreated. This person over here has taken the same situation and is now built upon it and has grown from it. So it just depends. It's not the situation. It's not the person. It's what we tell ourselves about the situation that's keeping some of us stuck. Okay. So again, understand setbacks are going to come. Understand that we all have weaknesses and shortcomings, and we can't give up on our dreams and goals. Sometimes things come up in our life to get us to see what's really in us. Sometimes things come up in our lives to get us to really realize what was in us all the time. You didn't know that you would be able to sing or do, a project as well as you did it until you had to do it. You had a buddy. You and your buddy was supposed to work on this project. You guys were going to meet Monday at 10 o'clock, and your boss was going to come in at 11 o'clock. You guys were going to present. You get there at 10 o'clock, your partner gets sick. So now you're stuck. Right? So now you have to go into action. You go into action, and the boss is looking at the project. It's like, this is the best project I've ever seen. You didn't think you could do it. So sometimes that happens. Okay. Again, let me not get too off track here because I'm talking about hopelessness. We have to continue to trust and believe, even though we may not understand everything that God is doing in our lives. Moving forward means that we are putting action to our faith. Let me say here, I said this on another broadcast, for those of you who think the Bible, a lot of people talk about the Bible is not relevant. Well, it's not relevant because you're not using it right. That's number one. The Bible is not a pacifier. Some of you think that the Bible is a pacifier or it's a feel-good book. It's not a feel-good book. If you read it right and you apply it right, you'll see that the Bible is actually challenges us to move forward. It challenges us to remain the same. It confronts us. The Bible is a book of war, actually. It's a war. When I'm talking about war, it helps you to war against your low self-esteem, your lack of confidence, your anger, your depression. That's what the Bible is about. It's not a feel good book. You know, a lot of times we go around thinking we need to feel good or think about the positive things. No, the Bible is not a positive thinking book. Okay, it's a book that looks at both the positive and the negative, and that's how you have to look at it. You can't go through life just thinking, I'm just going to think happy thoughts. No, you don't want to think just happy thoughts, because life is not, doesn't just consist of happy thoughts. You have to begin to take a look at both the positive, the negative, the good, and the bad, and begin to develop a plan out of that. Okay, not just one way. You can't go around, if all you do is think about positive thoughts, then you're going to be blindsided when something else happens. You have to kind of, instead of negative thoughts, you want to strive for balanced thinking. Balanced thinking, balanced thinking, balanced thinking will lead to balanced behavior, a balanced life where you understand the good and the bad. You're not blindsided. You're not extreme, all the way to the right, all the way to the left when something happens. When somebody says something to you you don't like, you're not all the way, oh, I hate this person or I love this person. Right? You'll be able to see things as what they really are. And that is just life, right? Good things, bad things, situations, events. We all have challenges. We all have shortcomings. And in spite of our shortcomings, we have to begin to move forward. So moving forward means we're not just sitting passively waiting for something to happen. Instead, moving forward means that we are engaging in activities that are moving us closer to the plan of God for our lives. Moving forward means that we're not going to allow our depression, our anxiety, our worry, our lack of income keep us from moving forward. Okay, we will move forward. Again, this it's getting better all the time. Mental health outreach. You can find out more about us by logging onto our website at igbattmho.org. Again, you can always join us if you would like. We would appreciate it. Again, you do have something to add to the world in which you live. We'll talk again later. God bless you and God bless.